after finally getting back into the world of Eternum. For the third time now, I might add. I did play through both closed betas, and obviously the open beta as well. Anyways, we got back into it, and first thing the game did was crash immediately, right off the bat. As soon as I opened the game, it tried to load the game for like 4 seconds, and I was like, no, peace out. And then we tried to launch it again, and everything was okay. For some reason, the screen recorded like this. I'm not really sure what would be causing that, but it was definitely really interesting. So we made it past the loading screen. First boss down, we're on a roll, we're watching the cutscenes, we're creating our character. I waited in queue, allowed access, finally made it into the game, killing the first enemy, which, I mean, I make this look pretty easy, if I don't mind saying so. Work through the tutorial, and then make it to the beach. And as soon as we got to the beach, the first thing I noticed was my FPS. It was pretty atrocious. Now, I don't have like a supercomputer or anything, but I do have like a pretty decent computer, so I'm not really sure what's going on. And then I look at the chat, and apparently I'm not the only one having this issue. So one of the things that they are doing with this open beta is actually stress testing the server. But if you think about it, that shouldn't really have an issue on the FPS. That would realistically just have an issue on the ping. And as far as I could tell, I mean, the ping seemed, you know, it wasn't great. I think it was at like in the 90s or something, but it was definitely doable. Like, it was playable for sure. So I then started stuttering around the world, doing some crazy stuff like
Internet sensation of 2004, and it was in one of the Bond films. It's pretty impressive. The goal is to get from point A to point B as creatively as possible. So technically they are doing parkour as long as point A is delusion and point B is the hospital.
killing some zombies.
Oh, shit!
Collecting some boxes, and we just kind of continued on from there, doing the opening quest. Let's take this opportunity to look at the most recent patch notes. These will likely be in the game at release, or something very similar to them.
So basically in the closed beta, level 10 should be killing level 60s, which I kind of think that's stupid. Someone that puts 2 hours into the game should not be able to compete in PvP in open world with someone that's put 150 hours into the game. Just doesn't make sense. And rather than fixing this, the only thing I'm worried about is actually didn't mention how much they've adjusted it by. All they did was mention that they've adjusted it. So maybe it's
2 hours later.
A lot of little stuff, but it's all going to kind of add up over the long run in the scheme of things. So we appreciate that, Amazon. As long as you keep doing what the players are hoping for in the game, I think things are going to go well. But man, I really got to take a second to say, I miss being in this world. So it's so nice to look at. The sounds are so pleasing. And as soon as you get into it, all you see is players everywhere. It feels so alive, kind of like how MMOs used to feel. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're so hyped for New World. Because it's giving us that old school kind of community-based feeling to it. Especially with the factions and the wars. And you really gotta hand it to Amazon here. They've had numerous failed games, but with New World, they're determined to make our first actual gaming experience on release to be as enjoyable as possible. They did promise that they weren't gonna push back the release, and then they pushed it back.
Liar!
But I really think that they do have the game's best interest in mind by doing this. Here's another thing that I noticed. It's actually pretty game changing. I don't think this was in the closed beta, but check this out. Look at those water animations flying up from my feet. I don't remember seeing those in the closed beta. Man, this is really going to be something on release, isn't it? Now, during my time playing the open beta, I did run into a couple of little bugs or annoyances or just like weird things going on with the screen, but it wasn't really anything game breaking. So if they do push back the release again, which honestly, judging by what I've seen, they actually might. I really think they might actually delay the release again. But if this is the reason why, I really don't think it's called for. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I am really happy to be in the world, and I hope they don't delay the release even further.
Even when you're roaming
I was happy to be in New
nice
World,
to think you have somewhere to go back to.
and New World was happy with me in it.
I will, but I can't say Magistrate Bixford does much to inspire confidence around here. He's a strange bird, isn't he? And with this corruption bearing down on us.
Hey, here's some filler for you. Honestly, one of my favorite things to do in this game, which has never been the case for any MMORPG I've ever played in the past, I really like to just go around and chop down trees, pick rocks, just be a gatherer, you know? Like a non-PvPer, just like a friendly crafter that outfits the warriors that are going into battle. It's something that I've never taken an interest in any other game, but for some reason in New World, I actually don't mind doing it. Like, I really enjoy it. Mind you, I'm still gonna be a PvP god. I'm really torn on the build that I'm gonna go with for the actual release. I mean, I've basically tried everything throughout the closed beta and the open beta. I'm not sure if, like, I want to be a tank, if I want to be a spellcasting mage, if I want to go a dex build and use ranged and maybe a spear or a rapier or something, or if I want to be a healer. I'm completely undecided. I'm gonna have to make up my mind soon. In the comments, let me know what you guys are gonna pick. I'm really interested. I actually am. I'm actually interested in what you guys are gonna be playing. Please tell me.